Because one more freaking time, baby. Are we live? Is it working? Are we public? Check, check, check. How's my volume? Because one more freaking time, baby. Are we live? Is it working? I think it's working. Okay, this is looking good. We're going to go with this for a second. We're going to go with this for a second and just see how this works. Okay, we're back. We're back. And we're back. Okay, yeah, so I just did, like I said, I'm working out the kinks here. This is a one-man, like everything I do, it's a one-man operation, one-person operation, not to gender it or anything. Could be done by, all right, now is this going to show up? Is this going to show up in my feed or not? I mean, I give it a minute. I'll give it a minute. For some reason, my lives are not showing up. I like to check them on my phone to just see it's looking good, it's sounding good on like a device, you know, on a neutral device. So for some reason, these are not popping up. And so I'm like, I'll just give it a minute. I'll give it a minute, okay? So yeah, it's the new era in YouTube. I keep seeing stories. Maybe it's just the algorithm, self-dysmorphia, the concave mirror, self-portrait in a concave mirror. I can't leave this alone. I have to know that this is working before I really invest myself fully. I mean, this is just like a warm-up, I guess, to the actual, I don't know. I want every second of this live stream to be rewarding and to be quality for people. And I do work hard to overload you with verbal data and opinions and takes and things to think about and just sort of showing the world back to itself, what's going on, realizing what's going on, taking it all in, recognizing it, honoring it, speaking to it. Sorry, I just cannot, I'm hooked on my phone. What can I say? Should I just, maybe I'll just do a stream of me watching TikTok. I'll just do reactions. Can I get I need a screen cap like on the other half of this, and I'll just watch TikTok for 2 hours and live stream that. My new vlog premiered. It's got over 100 views. Thank you guys for watching. New fans, new subscribers, welcome. Not that there's been a whole shitload, but I think the vlog revolution is happening. I think we're living through it. We are seeing the vlog revolution right now before our very eyes. And I think the world is coming around, realizing this is a legitimate form of filmmaking. Realizing we're pioneers of it. Yeah, so over 100 views. Thank you guys for watching. It's like Megalopolis. This is like I mean, are people, it seems to me like people are seeing Megalopolis. That's the way that I'm taking it. It's like I'm hearing a lot of people talk about it. I know people who are seeing it. I'd like to see it, frankly. It looks provocative. I mean, I think that's who Coppola is. I think he was able to channel his creativity into these projects that, like The Godfather, where there was this framework kind of laid out, and he could put his ideas into that and make something that would connect with the popular imagination. But I think left to his own devices, he's going to be a lot more creative and kind of wild. I remember when I was in college, I used to go to the library at OU, and before I get started, I just want to make sure this is working. And look at film books. You know, I'd look at scripts. Having access to a college library was like this incredible fucking thing, actually. You know, I've always loved libraries. It's always been one of my prime sort of hangouts and haunts is like library. And so, why is this not showing up? This is driving me insane. Why am I not live? This is killing my ass. This fucking thing should be showing up 5 minutes ago. Is it this? Can I watch this? Let me click this real fast. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. I'm sorry to, if anybody's watching. Oh, well, I don't know, whatever. People like watching people on their phones. Oh boy, what is going on here? Why the hell is this not going live, you bastard? Okay, that will pop up. That will fucking pop up. Something is wrong with this fucking live stream. I don't know what it is. Is this popping up for anybody? Maybe YouTube is not showing it for some reason. I just want to make sure that this is working, I guess. I mean, the other two worked, so I got to assume that this is fucking working, even though it's not popping up. I'm just going to keep going. Fuck it. Ah, God, I don't know. I guess this is natural part of the process. This is one reason why we haven't really utilized this space, you know, very much at all, because of this type of shit. You know, and I think I got maybe a few more viewers on the last live stream that I did down here, but it's negligible, I think, at least for now. I don't know. We need a more kind of completed setup down here. I should have gone live from, you know, I was sitting in Bleecker Park. It was a nice day. The weather was really nice. It was beautiful golden light in the autumn. I'm going to go to Central Park tomorrow. But I was like, I wanted to write. You know, that's kind of what I've been trying to work on. In addition to doing this, you know, I am committed to doing this, and I have one foot in the 21st century here. And people do watch. I mean, I get 60 views at least usually on a live stream, and so you know, if I had 60 people watching this in a room, it'd be crazy. Let me check. I'm gonna keep checking this. I'm sorry. I gotta know that this is working or not working, or you bastard. Come on, baby. Show me that I'm live. Show me that I'm live, you punk. Damn it all to hell. Hold on, let me just check this one. I got an excellent connection here. What kind of sound am I getting, I wonder? Can I watch it on this? Let me see if I can watch it. What kind of sound am I getting, I wonder? Can I watch it on this? Let me see if I can watch it. What kind of sound am I getting, I wonder? Damn it. Okay, so this is showing me that I'm live. Okay, alright, so I guess it is working. I mean, even though I'm not getting it on my phone, god damn it. You know, I like to use my phone as an external monitor. What can I say? You know, that's exciting for me. So, I just want to make sure and check that it's, all right, maybe it's in my history now. Yeah, here it is. Okay. My phone is an all right, fantastic. Okay. You know, it's exciting for me. Okay. Yeah, it's working. Can you hear that? So, I just want to make sure and check that it's. Okay, so anyway, I wasted what? The first 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 9 minutes talking about this. Okay. Anyway, here we go. We're live. I'm sorry. Before I go full blast, double-barreled, you know, off on whatever the fuck I'm going to talk about, I want to make sure that it's recording and working. And like I said, so this is one reason why, you know, we're trying to work out like a multi-camera setup down here. We got a few different cameras, and we have all the ingredients. We've got HDMI cables. We got a Blackmagic or some mini thing. You know, monitors, lights, the whole shebang. This ridiculous kind of classic rock infomercial, like Power Ballads box set, Time Life commercial kind of set here. And so meet Sally Jesse Raphael. So yeah, this is the Wayne's World. This is so Wayne's World to me. In this basement. I miss playing in basements in Brooklyn. I miss going to gigs with the band and playing in basements and playing in house parties in basements. And so this kind of has a little bit of the same vibe. It's a basement, it's Brooklyn, it's a house venue. So my goal here, I'd love to have guests. You know, we've got this chair, it's waiting for you as a viewer, as a fan, as a friend. If you're out there and you want to come to Midwood, if you want to take the Q train to Avenue M, if you dare, come out to Midwood and we'll interview you. You know, we'll interview you live on the internet. I like doing it live, okay? Everybody tells me, like, oh, why not just record it and then edit it and broadcast it later? I like doing it live. I think live television is going to come back. It is. That's what live streaming is. They act like live television is like this thing from the past. Like when Saturday Night Live was on, everything on TV is on tape. So one of the things that makes Saturday Night Live unique is that it is live, right? Like sports are live. And I think but it's like, so they acted like, you know, because with tape you can edit things, obviously, right? Get them perfect, have kind of linear shot making, whatever, storytelling. But there was this whole moment, I wanted to write a novel about this moment in New York in the 50s when there was all this live television. It was sort of before tape. You know, this is how James Dean started a lot of these actors. It was like sort of a companion to Broadway. Every week they'd have original scripted dramas. Paddy Chayefsky or Rod Serling or whoever the fuck, you know, would have written some kind of original script for television. And New York, you know, and it was highbrow shit. You know, it was like they do fucking plays on TV. And when tape came in, syndication, whatever, when that stuff kind of took over, quality became better. I don't know. Something happened, and they kind of just stopped doing that. Even the Tonight Show was never live, I don't think, or at least, like, you know, Carson was always taped. But I think with live streaming, we're seeing kind of like this resurgence. It's always going to be there. It's always going to be an option. It's always going to be, and why not? I saw a guy in Soho today, just north of Canal Street, with my setup. He had my rig. He had the selfie stick and his phone on the stick, and he was live streaming. So it has begun, everybody. The live streamer. It's going to be like Pokemon Go. Everybody's just going to be walking around live, streaming whatever the fuck they're doing, commenting on it. So I was going to do that in Manhattan today, but I thought, I want to get this rolling with this studio. I want to see how it plays. If my views improve because I've got a fancy set and lighting and good sound and higher quality image. Can I clip this out? Is it going to look better if I clip it out? Am I going to look like Andrew Schultz? You know, that's why I wore this jacket. I thought I should wear, you know, it's like you got to have a jacket if you're like a podcaster guy. You got to just be wearing kind of like, you know, clothes that you would, I don't know, go work as a fucking Grubhub person in. Yeah, so what do we need to talk about today, everybody? I mean, life goes on, time goes on. I've thought of that title today, Life on Earth, while I was in the, what the hell, where was I writing? I was trying to write today, but I did it kind of all outdoors. I didn't want to go to the library because it was so nice out. The sun was so nice, the light was so nice. You know, we got to take advantage of these nice weather days. It's October, it's early October, and it's already getting like kind of sentimentally cold out. And looking back, you know, summer just, it's a corner. You know, the year kind of has these corners where it just abruptly changes. And so once you step off that kind of autumn equinox, it's, you know, it's the high has been at like 70 degrees all week. And next week it's going to be 60 degrees is going to be the high. So, you know, we have that to look forward to in New York. Another year of pushing through and, I don't know, doing the same thing again. I guess. What's next? What's the next level? How do I level up? How do we blow up? You know, we got to break through. I got to finance. Kuzu Daddy keeps bothering me about going to Burning Man next year. Costs like $2,500 or something. So I got to blow up on YouTube so I can afford to go to Burning Man. Maybe I'll read some poetry. I feel like maybe that will be a good way to start. So I'm doing this reading on. I got to do my own camera work here. Okay, get that nice skull in there. Doing this reading on Sunday, thanks to Philip. Philip gave me the recommendation. And I'm not closely monitoring the comments. I really don't even know if anybody's watching, to be honest. Maybe I should, the comments, maybe I should communicate with my fan base and my online community, my brand family. The cult, you know, we're being encouraged to be cult leaders. How's that sound? Maybe I'll check it one more time. What the hell was I talking about? Oh, yeah, so I got to talk about Ashley's reading. Ashley was bothering me that I didn't mention her reading on the last live stream, so. My brand family. Why? I'm getting this weird frame rate. The cult, you know, we're being encouraged to be cult leaders. I don't know. How's that sound? Maybe I'll check it one more time. It honestly doesn't, the quality does not look that great. The quality doesn't look great. The sound doesn't sound great. See, it's like we got all these fancy, you know, it's wireless and it's a Sony whatever, but it's like, well, it looks like shit. It sounds like shit. It doesn't look like, I mean, is every podcaster sort of buying the same kit? You literally go to Best Buy now and there's like a fucking like podcasting kit you can buy with like a ring light and, you know, the standard microphone and shit. It's just like, should I be wearing headphones and have a big condenser mic in front of me and clip it out? Just do it, you know, do it vertical. Apparently horizontal orientation is making a comeback. They said YouTube is gearing up because it's overtaken Netflix and these other streaming services sort of as an actual content delivery service. It's sort of gearing up to encourage that kind of content. So like, things that are shot horizontally, things that have like season cycles, things that can be binge watched. So I'm hoping, here's hoping. This is another thing they said was, you know, YouTube videos can, you know, never make anything private or like, you know, you never know, an old video could still pop. It could, you know, there's something in it, maybe for some reason it could pop off, you know, and so that's what I'm hoping happens with my own body of work. I hope it hasn't all been for nothing. You know, because I was really proud of the Scenes from a Life. You know, it's really been, you know, it's been my body of work. I'm trying to like work on a screenplay and I'm sort of revisiting all these old methods of filmmaking and script writing and just like, honestly, like this is what I do. You know, this is how I make films. Is vlogging, quote unquote. I don't look at it that way. The culture has sort of come to the point where now it's becoming a more common thing to vlog. I hope it becomes, you know, to me it was the new mumblecore. It's just like you take mumblecore one step further. You know, it's the ultimate lo-fi autofiction, really. And I wish I could have gone deeper and further into the storytelling. I've done the best that I could. You know, my big regret is the story I'd like to tell is like the lives of the poets. I'd like it if my vlogs were like this panorama of like the New York poetry scene with all of these characters who are poets, venues, you know, and to show the culture being made so that people could watch the vlog and see this kind of exciting scene in action, you know, and show the whole kind of gallery of all the characters and all the players. And I'm sort of able to do that in a sort of very clipped way, but I don't get as much conversation as I'd like. I'd like to have more actual scenes with more actual long kind of discursive passages and an oral composition. You know, the idea being if you film poets and their speech is a kind of writing, it's a kind of poetry. So you have all these people who are sort of writing the show as a group improvisation. That's like a big play, in a big movie, a big epic, like the fucking Sopranos is about the mafia or whatever. It's like this would be, here's New York Poetry, the fucking long form television show. And here's all the characters and, the different. And so that's what I try to do with my vlogs in the bastardized, compromised way that I'm able to get it done. I might play the piano. I've got the piano set up over here so I can just whip this motherfucker around anytime I want and become Elton John. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping people are watching the vlogs. It's, they're environmental, So I'm hoping at some point it just pops off. I'm hoping that just like, eventually they're like, wow, this guy's got this incredible body of work on his fucking YouTube page. Between the live, watch the old live streams. I've seen some of those have appreciated the bathroom show people watch, and some of those Opinion Valley for some reason popped up. But there's a lot of interesting pieces. The Ancient Teapot movie is really interesting for fans of the original Scenes from a Life episodes from 2014-15, which were much more edited, and I don't know how those have held up. They don't have that many clicks, like 15, But like I said, I'd like to believe at some point my work will be seriously evaluated and people will go back and watch it from the beginning and see there's a lot of, it's an interesting, ongoing, epic that sort of tumbles out. And it's massive, that's the other thing, is it's like hundreds of hours long, so it's, there's a lot of different ways to approach it, and there's a lot in there. There's a lot of poetry, there's a lot of poets, there's a lot of New York kind of whatever from the year 2015 to present, life in the big city, But is everybody doing that? Everybody's vlogging. Casey Neistat is like the person who really became famous, I guess. I've never really seen any of his fucking vlogs or anything, but Casey Neistat apparently is the, godfather of... Okay, so yeah, I came out here to fucking do this today. Let me just make sure it's still going. Is this my excuse? This is my procrastination. I've had kind of a revelation recently that, like, trying to write a movie. Vlogs or anything, but Casey Neistat apparently is the... Okay, so I do have two people watching. Do I have anybody in the chat? Is anybody chatting? This is my excuse. This is my procrastination. I've had kind of a revelation. My revelation is that poetry has been kind of like a lifelong procrastination for me. And my methods have been about like just allowing myself to do whatever I'm capable of. Like letting water find its level. That's my belief. It's just like whatever, artistic energy wants to come out of you, like you have to let it come out in the way that it wants to come out. And, that's what my poetry is. It's just like any fucking thing that comes into my head, I try to like bend it into an interesting kind of shape that sort of defies reduction and, becomes like this kind of slapstick profundity or something. Or attempted. But, when I saw this video about Hulk Hogan wanted to go to Hollywood. I'm constantly using Hulk Hogan as an example for what I'm like doing in my life. He's my role model ever since I was a child. He was my earliest role model, to be honest. He was my earliest hero, Hulk Hogan. So we're still following his example, the Trump psycho, Hulk Hogan. He said he wanted to go to Hollywood. So Vince McMahon said, we'll make a movie. I'll make a movie. We'll make a movie. You don't need to go to Hollywood. We'll make a movie. And so he said they wrote the screenplay for No Holds Barred, which I've never seen, in 2.5 days in a hotel room. And I think Herzog kind of has similar stories about, like, he writes his scripts like real fast in like a week. He'll just take a week and just write it. And I don't know, I got too into the kind of screenplay book, Sid Field, Robert McKee shit, where it's like, well, you got a story, you got to have an index card for every fucking scene. And you make these index cards and you have 90, once you have 90 index cards, then you have a movie. And it's like, just write the fucking thing. Like, it's a long, to me, the way that Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon wrote No Holds Barred, that's like the way you should write. That's the way you write like a short story or a long poem. That's the way On the Road was written. It's just like, we don't need this like clock punching, time clock fucking app, optimization of every fucking aspect of our lives where it's like, well, I write from, 8 a.m. to 1 every day, and then I have lunch, and then I do my 10,000 steps, and, by the end of the week I have 10,000 words. It's like, fuck off. Just write the fucking thing in 3 days, just like, or I don't know. Like, I've always tried to be more disciplined and just, like, put in my time, and, like, I like doing that, and I'm glad that I'm sort of back to doing that, but, like, I have so many screenplays that are unfinished, unproduced. I had so many, things that I look back and I'm like, this was a really interesting idea. Why didn't I finish it? Why didn't I just do what I could to, like, make it? For me, it's like it's usually when I do something faster that I sort of have more success in a weird way, because I can't really go all the way with something where it's like I have some big budget or some big studio and like I make it sound like studio perfect, or like, like the movies that I gave up too easily when I was young, for one thing. I just gave up trying to make movies because it was a different era. It was all fucking mini DV tapes, and there was other things I kind of had to learn. But now it's like sort of, trying to go back and make a movie. It's like, fuck. I write poetry all day. It's just boring to write like scenes. I just think it's so boring. I don't want to, I don't think dialogue is really a great way to express anything that matters, actually. Or I don't know, like, unless it's some Richard Linklater movie where the dialogue is just fucking packed with intellectual. We started to watch, like, it has a literary density, right? Like Might Have Done with Andre, right? I like that stuff because the dialogue is like rich and full of minerals and vitamins and shit. And it's, it's like poetry where it's like, it's, we started to watch The Wrong Ferrari, the Adam Green movie, which is available free on his fucking website. I recommend everybody go watch all the Adam Green movies. I haven't watched any of them yet. Ashley wouldn't watch it. She hated it. She fucking hated it. She doesn't want to watch anything that's like actually anywhere near like anything that's actually considered cool with me. She'll watch like Jim Belushi movies. That's fine. But like once we try to watch like The Sweet East or what's another like fucking cool movie? Like any kind of like, I don't know. We watched about 10 minutes of the Adam Green movie, and it was just like, we had to turn it off. And to be honest, it's really an obnoxiously, like, hipstered out fucking kind of, it's pretentious. I would say it's pretentious. The dialogue is like poetry. That's what I would say. It's like Poets Theater. They're sort of trying to do a Warhol movie in their kind of shit gaze. It's shit gaze. If you watch... there's this great show that these guys on Washington Beach did called Doing It Wrong. It's on YouTube, or it was on YouTube. I recommend this to people. Go watch Doing It Wrong. It's a shit gaze classic. Rich and Benjamin Wilkinson did this show. And it's, it's got some really, really amazing episodes. And it's kind of the exact same aesthetic as The Wrong Ferrari. The Wrong Ferrari has a punched up dialogue thing that's kind of, it reminds me, to be honest, of Frank O'Hara's plays or Ashbery's plays. The New York School, those guys, like, to be honest, they started out as, or at least their early days in New York, they did theater. Like Ashbery and Frank O'Hara were like in plays at the Cherry Lane Theater. They were in some Picasso play. They did plays in Boston. There was some Poets Theater in Boston where like, Frank O'Hara, Jack Spicer had been up there. And so they were actors in plays, but the plays that they wrote were like very heightened language. Every line is like this cryptic kind of line of poetry, right? And so it's kind of grating to a modern ear. You're just like, this is kind of just too, not the New York school stuff per se, but the Wrong Ferrari. You watch it and you're kind of like, this is just too keyed up. But I also like that stuff. For me, it's like, I like it actually. I want to see this movie. I want to watch the rest of this movie, Even though it is this kind of try hard, kind of like put upon poetry or something. If I would find that freeing as a writer to write a film in that way, maybe. Just putting... And I think that's how Godard did it. I think Godard didn't write his scripts till like the day of. He had a treatment or whatever, but then he would write the dialogue like the morning of, and then give it in like slips of paper to the actors and shit. That's like poetry to me. It's like he came up with these lines, and then he kind of figured out, how he wanted to put them together or whatever. And almost like a 48-hour film festival, how they give you a line of dialogue and a prop, and then you figure out what the movie is by connecting those things. There was an interesting thing that Burnett Mayer said about playwriting, where it was like, this is like the Dick Cavett set here. We got to do a modern Dick Cavett. That's the goal with this. I think somebody commissioned Burnett Mayer to write a play, some university or something commissioned Burnett Mayer to write a play, like, sometime before she died, relatively recently. And I think she said something about she didn't like keeping track of characters, or she thought it was boring, or that was the part about playwriting that just like she just didn't. And that's what I find with a lot of the work that I admire is, like I said, like embracing the lack of discipline, or whatever way the consciousness wants to go, whatever way the writing wants to go, allowing that to lead you rather than like, okay, it's a Neil Simon play. We've got this set, we've got these characters, and, we're in this realism, for 2 hours or whatever. And, there's a continuity to the psychology of the characters and, the sort of happening of the events and blah, blah, blah. And that's what it's about, the plot of, sort of the realism of what happens to the characters. And, it might be more interesting to write a play, almost like, that part of Ulysses, that's like Ulysses in Nighttown, and it's all these crazy fucking metaphor, like Poets Theater, because like Lorca wrote plays, right? It's Poets Theater, I feel like, is more symbolic, like allowing that in, I feel like is what even exciting filmmakers, like somebody like Fellini, right? He allows so much like dream imagery. He kind of follows the image. And I was watching this Harmony Korine interview. I've been watching interviews with him recently because I just want to hear his opinion about modern life and blah, blah, blah. I think he's got his finger on the pulse of America in a way. And, whatever, hype culture. He was saying he doesn't really write plot. He comes up with images, and he sort of follows the images. David Lynch, right? He's a painter. They're both painters. They both kind of come from like that background of just like making paintings. Wim Wenders was a painter, right? Where it's like they just kind of come up with an image. You don't necessarily know what it means, right? Like a lot of David Lynch's stuff is like dream kind of, it's not explanatory, it's not something that, and so it's like poetry in that regard, it creates this powerful kind of symbol, and you don't necessarily know exactly what it means, it's not reducible. That's kind of what gives it its potency and its its ongoing effectiveness.
And so it's like poetry in that regard.
All right.
It creates this powerful...
Yeah, so I'm not necessarily seeing the chat, if anybody's in the chat, just FYI. Although I could pop it up, I suppose, in a way. I just wanted to get into the late night audience as it becomes winter time and things get darker earlier and colder. I'm going to be doing less streams. I wanted to do all that live stuff in Manhattan because I just think that's the ultimate form for me, walking around Manhattan and running my fucking mouth, pontificating. But now that it's wintertime, now that it's colder, most of the audience is on late. Where my freaks at? We're the freak of the week. Holler if you hear me. It's Big Papa Pump. You're on late at night. That's where you're at. It's like people start watching at like 3 a.m. And so that's something I will probably be doing for the next few months. The summer, once again, was like ratings were down. The audience actually goes down in the summer because everybody's out doing stuff, and getting that good weather, going to Europe, going to the Amalfi Coast. They're on a super yacht. They're in Switzerland. They're milking the cows. I've been, doing my show because I'm Joe Franklin and I just do it all the time, no matter what. We do it every day, no matter what. There's nothing. Joe Franklin had never even been to the beach, I guess. He said something about he'd never been to the beach. Or like he'd been one time his whole life. He's like he lives in New York, but he just likes Broadway. He spent his whole fucking life doing that. Doing his show every single day for 40 years. And that's not all I want to do. Like, that's what's nice about having this capability of taking the phone. I'm excited to live stream from other cities. Book me in your town. I'd love to go on tour and live stream from, we're going to get down to the Jersey Shore. So that's something we'll probably be doing more of. Now that it's also getting cold, we did Soho Playhouse last night. Kuzu and Daddy and I went to Soho Playhouse. I did a 7-minute improvisation in one chord. I just played A the whole time. It was experimental, okay? Give me a break. It's New York. We're experimental, all right? This is like fucking Glenn O'Brien TV party. That's the goal, Glenn O'Brien TV party. I don't know. I don't know if I could really party out here. It's Midwood. It's like a residential building. They don't want to draw too much, attention or anything, but we do want to try to make this, like I said, I'd like to do interviews. Anybody out there watching, you want to come to Midwood, we can interview you, and live performances too, so we can do an interview and then you can do your act. Do a couple songs or do some poems or whatever. And we'll do it live on fucking YouTube to my 382 subscribers, baby. The empire, it's slowly building. The empire's slowly building. What was I just talking about? So I don't know. Poetry has become like this kind of like procrastination where it's just like, that's sort of what's beautiful about it. It's this sort of dream form of writing where it's just like you make up your own rules. You make up your own logic, your own form. And the poem also kind of tells you what the form wants to be. And you have to listen to that stuff. You have to listen to those impulses. That's what's so, I think, curious about being an artist. It keeps you in touch with that alive, like kind of like childlike sense of awareness. And just like you do have to be aware of like what brings you joy, what creates the effect of ecstatic feeling or mind-blowing or whatever it is. It's like you are thinking about how to shape that and cultivate it into something that has a statement or something. And you have to trust your intuition. You have to listen to yourself. You have to listen and think about why you're thinking about something. Why is a certain thing recurring, in your life? Why does a certain thing keep coming up? Is there meaning to that? What's something that's been coming up for me recently? There's something that's just like, what the fuck is it? Carl Yastrzemski? Let me get my fucking poetry out, and maybe I'll read a little poetry to sort of, what's something that's been continuously coming up for me? Oh yeah, Dennis Cooper. Ashley met Dennis Cooper. There was the big Dennis Cooper reading last night at the project. I didn't go. I mean, I don't dislike Dennis Cooper. I'm not that familiar with his prose, to be honest. I don't have any of his like novels or fiction or anything. I have his selected poems. I think it's called Dream Police. And I'm more familiar with Dennis Cooper through his work as like kind of administrator or, he worked at Poetry Project and Beyond Baroque. He's one of the, I think that's kind of interesting. I don't know how many people have done that. I don't know what he did at Poetry Project. He may have edited the newsletter. I think he was on the staff in some capacity. Maybe he was like a coordinator and booked stuff. I don't exactly know. I haven't really looked at that stuff in a few years to see specifically, but he may have been at Beyond Baroque before. I think he was at Beyond Baroque in the early 80s. He's from LA. And he had a magazine called Little Caesar. And he was part of like Tim Dugos, David Trinidad, who's that lady? LA poet. I'm drawing a blank right now. Kind of campy. It was AIDS era, pop culture. Dennis Cooper has this kind of edginess, and he's still kind of this kind of eminent tastemaker. I mean, the Dennis Cooper blog is still kind of this elite source of kind of gay or just even kind of just, arty, whatever, I don't know, kind of cultural mandate or positioning. Or he does this thing every year, best of. Dennis Cooper's best of. Best books, best movies, best... there's a bunch of different categories. Best poetry, so if you can get on Dennis Cooper's blog, it's like one of the best. That's like a huge kind of like, alt goal. That's a bucket list, main, that's a side quest or what, I don't know, getting on Dennis Cooper blog. And so he was at, I mean, like I said, I don't know. I mean, his poetry is good, but it's kind of prose-like, and it's more about his experiences kind of as a gay man, and not that or I don't, not that it's not necessarily, necessarily the subject matter that's the most, relevant or relatable to me per se, And so he means a lot to an entire generation of writers. He's very popular amongst the kind of hipper writers of today. I would say he's kind of weirdly influential in a way. Not weirdly, but like he's kind of more influential. I guess it's probably because he writes prose, maybe. But I don't even know. Has this stuff ever been adapted by Hollywood even? Like, you'd think Hollywood would have picked up on Dennis Cooper at a certain point, like Bret Easton Ellis, He's sort of like a more avant-garde Bret Easton Ellis in a way. I don't think he really writes like horror. He doesn't really go that far into genre, but it's similar kind of like, he writes about like kink and like, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't read that much of his stuff. I mean, I do think that that's an important part of avant-garde and kind of transgressive underground literature, is like writing about these kind of taboo, queer subject matter. And I'd like to revisit it. I mean, maybe his prose styling is like really interesting, and maybe there's a lot more that he's kind of like one of the new narrative. He's kind of like part of that 80s. There was like a prose kind of, Kevin Killian and A lot of the West Coast writers were kind of like Bruce Boone, maybe, or Robert Glick, or people talk about Jack Skelly. Not that those people write prose, but they were Amy Gersler, right? Those were kind of that era of like early 80s. And then Eileen Miles, would be sort of like, and people like that would be sort of like a New York corollary. They were sort of attached to that. Language poetry was happening around that time. So it was another kind of movement in the mix where, like I said, like a lot of David Trinidad stuff is like campy, or it's like about pop culture, girl groups, Valley of the Dolls, the 60s, shit that was on TV. But Dennis Cooper, I don't know. He kind of makes it this more kind of like, I don't know, esoteric. He lives in Paris, I guess. He's from LA, he lived in New York for a period, and now he lives in Paris, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know if they've done Dennis Cooper. Has Hollywood done Dennis Cooper movies? This is one thing I wanted to take advantage of having this streaming setup, is I want to look things up in the middle of the live stream to let's just find out. What do you say? Let's find out right now if Hollywood has adapted Dennis Cooper. But like I said, I don't really know that much about Dennis Cooper. Let's see here. I don't know if Permanent Green Light. No, I don't think this is. Maybe it is. Yeah, I guess this probably is Dennis Cooper. Permanent Green Light, Jerk. It looks like he's just made some kind of independent kind of projects. It doesn't look like there's been any kind of major studio exploitation. When is Dennis Cooper going to get discovered by Hollywood and marketed? And, when is the Larry Clarkization of Dennis Cooper? Why didn't Dennis Cooper make Kids? Not that I've seen Kids, but it seems like he would fit into, I don't know, that kind of transgressive filmmaking. Kind of hard to believe. Well, but he was dedicated to a life in literature. Not everything has to be a fucking movie or pop culture, mass media. I wonder how many books Dennis, well, like I said, he's very popular. Maybe it's just because it's prose, but, there's kind of a surprising number of people who are influenced by Dennis Cooper versus, the poets out there, to be honest. And so he read at the project last night, and, I know that was a big thing for the project because he does have a history there. He worked there. So, the last few years have been kind of about like, not a revisionist history, but maybe like a retelling or highlighting different aspects of like Poetry Project, history or whatever. And so bringing Dennis Cooper back is sort of a way to, like that was 40 years ago almost at this point. So it's kind of a nice dimension of the work that's been done there to kind of like highlight and give kind of, a closer look and show a new generation, right? And so I was going to text Ashley because Ashley was volunteering. I was going to text her because she's really good at this. She's really good at like meeting famous writers. It's kind of her greatest, it's a great talent. Let's just say that. It's a great talent to have. That's what makes the world go round. All you got to do is get with these fucking people. All you have to do is get them to like you, and then suddenly you're a player. Because people just follow whatever they say. Okay, this person liked it. Okay, so it must be good. They're the top dog, so I got to eat shit of whatever they say, And so I was going to text Ashley, oh, you should get Dennis Cooper your zine, But then I thought, well, she doesn't need me to tell her that. If I tell her that, she's just she's gonna react against it somehow and be like, no, I'm not gonna do that or blah blah blah. If I say do this, the automatic reaction is going to be, no, I'm not going to do what you tell me to do. I don't know. That's just how people are for some reason. And so I was like, I'm not even going to text her. And so I was going to go over. I was going to maybe check it out. I was going to go maybe watch, but I was going to go to Soho Playhouse, and I just didn't want to get mixed up in the whole thing. And so I just went over to say hi real fast, and she comes out, and she's like, oh, yeah, I met Dennis Cooper, of course. She said he was the nicest celebrity she's ever met. She said he had great vibe. He had an amazing vibe. She said he was super nice, super soft-spoken. He autographed her book. And she got him the zine, of course. Of course she got him the zine. I didn't need to tell her that. And so, yeah, there you go. Another win for Ashley. She got Dennis Cooper her zine. She'll probably be in fucking... So now I'm hoping she's in Dennis Cooper blog. That's my next... We got to get Ashley and Dennis Cooper blog. We're going to zoom in even fucking more, okay? Even more. How we doing over here? Is anybody in the chat? Are you guys doing okay in the chat? We got 3 viewers and 2 likes, baby. Well, it's a nice night. I thought there'd be more people watching later at night. Like I said, we're trying to tap into the late night audience now. The night owls, the night people. Gene Shepard's Night People. I think Gene Shepard's radio show was on from midnight till 1 a.m. So we're going to be doing live Tuesday and Thursday from Midwood Studios out here. Yeah, so I got to figure out what I'm reading on Sunday at this garden. It'll be nice kind of outdoor garden reading. But I'm also just trying to pump out language, A writer writes, always, as Billy Crystal says in Throw Mama from the Train, the greatest movie ever made about writing programs, Throw Mama from the Train. A writer writes, always. So, I don't know. I got to figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of my life. I either got to blow up on YouTube and become a massive cultural influencer, or, I don't know, get some kind of job, I guess. Figure that. Apparently the job market's like as hard as it's ever been. Or, I don't know, it's like a terrible time to try to get a job. So, AI is taking all the jobs. And late night is dying. There's no more late night jobs. Those are all taken. Seth Meyers somehow has a job. He doesn't even have to wear a tie. Seth Meyers doesn't even have to wear a fucking tie. Somebody's the host of a late night show. Apparently Jimmy Fallon, there was a period after he was done with Saturday Night Live, before he got late night, where he didn't really know what he was going to do with his career. He was sort of floundering, because he was off Saturday Night Live. That was before everybody just stayed on Saturday Night Live forever. Like, Keenan's been on Saturday Night Live for 20 plus years, which I guess is fine, but it's like, I remember when Kevin Nealon was on for 9 years, and you're like, okay, buddy, that's time to move on. Now it's just like, yeah, stay fucking forever. What the hell? Why not? Yeah, so Jimmy Fallon left, and then he didn't get late night, to a few years later. So he had a club in New York City, I guess. He bought a club, Jimmy Fallon Comedy Club, I think was what it was called. And, he just had like, he would MC and he would hang out at the club. So that's probably the business I should get into, is buy a fucking venue. That's my dream. My dream is to have a venue, bookstore, cafe, bar. So I'd like to have a stage where I could have bands, music, a dance floor, maybe a pool table, some booths, but then like a bookstore attached, poetry, zines, nice, comfortable furniture, armchairs, couches, lattes, cappuccinos, espresso, Americano, Irish coffee, martinis, whatever the fuck, whatever you're into, you know. Just a good time and place where I can curate the book selection and the bands. I mean, some people have already kind of got this, right, in New York City. But I just figured everything's so goddamn expensive here. I just never even look into it, to be honest. So, but I realize now that my I don't know, I'm in the nightlife business. You know, how do I maximize my profit? Well, I had a kind of epiphany, I guess, a few years ago. You know, coming out of the pandemic, I was living in that apartment in Chelsea. I'd lived there for about a year, but I'd really just been staying alone because of the pandemic and the whole thing. I just needed some time to be alone. So I spent a year in that apartment just writing, smoking weed, walking around New York, you know, really getting to know Manhattan kind of from the inside for the first time ever. You know, I'd lived in Brooklyn. I'd never lived in Manhattan. And, but very solitary, you know, very alone. And then there was one night I went out. I was looking kind of for a way out of myself, you know. I'd go to Washington Square Park. I didn't know how to talk to people. I couldn't even talk to, the guys selling weed. There was guys selling weed everywhere. I couldn't approach anybody, you know. I just didn't know how to re-enter society after the fucking pandemic, you know. I did not know how to say hello, or I was just nervous and in myself, you know, and not wanting to leave myself. I didn't want to get dragged into interactions. I was loving being alone and just kind of in my interiority. I didn't want to get pulled. It was very uncomfortable to like get pulled out of that and have to have conversations that you didn't know how long they're going to last or blah, blah, blah. And I met this, it was March, so it was coming out of winter 22, you know, which was when things started to kind of move again. And, you know, after the relapse of that Christmas, there was a COVID surge and blah, blah, blah. And so, but after spring 22, it was sort of like, okay, things are going to thaw out. And I went to Art Bar because I used to go down, you know, 8th Avenue out every night. I'd just go out and walk around and do the same kind of round. I just love walking around that area. And so I went to Art Bar and I met this guy, Stefan. I think, or Stephen, it was Stephane. And he was, I don't know, I just, you know, there was an open space at Art Bar, so I just went up there and sat next to him and we started talking. He was from France. I think maybe he lived in Paris. I don't remember exactly where he lived, but he was in New York because his job was like to design this fucking cafe. His friend or somebody hired him to, like, you know, create and paint and, you know, do the decorum for this cafe. He wasn't even like a designer or anything. It's just like this guy trusted him because he met him and he was, I don't know, we just hit it off. He had this kind of fun energy and he was kind of a, you know, an adventurous kind of like creative person, you know. And so, like, you know, this was like the first person I'd really like hit it off with in like few years, you know. And so we went from Art Bar and, you know, we drank wine and then we went down, I think we went to Jane Hotel, which is near there. We walked over to Jane Hotel and I loved going to Jane Hotel. That was definitely my favorite place, maybe in New York. As far as like a club goes, a club type thing where there's like loud music and like just kind of bro fratty, you know, drinking, hookup culture-ish type thing. To me, I like Jane Hotel. Jane Hotel had kind of a Gossip Girl, it was like a marriage of it was familiar because it felt like a place I'd been in college that were just like loud college, you know, 10-cent beer night, pathetic, you know, like I said, frat party type places, beer pong type places. But Jane Hotel was a maritime hotel, beautiful. I guess the Titanic survivors went there. And it had this kind of amazing, but the interior was like wood paneled. It looked like fucking Skull and Bones or Harvard or something. You know, it looked like Hasty Pudding Club. You know, there's this big hearth and these big fucking wooden tables and couches everywhere. You could just get on the fucking tables. But it was, you know, it looked like Yale. You know, it's like this nice wood paneling. It's like fucking Hogwarts in there. They got a nice lobby with like a doorman and a nice front. They remodeled it. Now it's like a private fucking space. So they probably all ruined it. It's probably all shitty now. But it was cool. It was this kind of like, I mean, it wasn't cool. It was like kind of douchey and like, you know, trashy in a way. But so am I guess. What the hell? I liked going there for some reason. It's because I could get in there. Like, most of those meat packing places are just awful. You know, they're all like really douchey. You know, they're really like just bottle service and, you know, fake model culture and promoters, and it's all like Maroon 5 or something. Whereas Jane Hotel's like sort of like, I don't know, it felt a little bit like dark academia or, and you know, so it attracted kind of cool, you know, douchebags. So anyway, we go to the Jane Hotel because I love Jane Hotel. I like going there, and you know, they've got a fucking DJ and shit, and so it's like, it's loud. It's just like any other fucking stupid, like, drinking, dance, go see hot young people kind of bar, you know, to just congregate to do what? I don't know. Just hold drinks and not talk to each other. The music's too fucking loud. Don't talk to anybody that you didn't come here with. But I went with that Stefan guy, and we just had this kind of wild energy. You know, I don't know if it's just because, like, life was kind of breaking open after being pent up, and like I was drinking. I don't drink that often. Let me make sure my fucking sound is still working here.
Energy. You know, I don't know if it's just because like life was gonna break.
And I just started going wild. You know, I like got up on this fucking couch and I started like, I don't even know what I was doing, screaming or dancing around or whatever. And people started to like they started to like be like, yeah, they were like clapping and shit. Yeah, like this guy is fucking awesome. And it felt, I don't know, it felt like something was born in that moment where I realized that like, this is sort of what I'm good at. You know, this, like all these like cool, you know, good looking New Yorker fucking preppy people in this Jane Hotel, like I got up on this fucking couch and I started like, I don't even know what I was doing, dancing around and just being wild, like I do at the open mic, basically, you know. Just get up on stage and be a maniac. And it all, I don't know, it just, everybody started going wild, you know. Everybody started kind of fucking partying a little more and dancing a little bit more, and the energy was kind of breaking out. You know, that's kind of what everybody wants. That's why people drink. That's why they do drugs, because they want, like, that fucking, to let loose, to let go of themselves, to not be self-conscious, to not be totally keeping track of every little thing they're doing, you know, and, like, worried about, is it cool, is it acceptable, is it... And so I don't know. That was, like, a realization for me, was, like, maybe this is what I'm good at, is like, you know, like I was a fucking wedding DJ, and and so now doing the open mic, right? It's like, that's a way of sort of like channeling that, whatever the hell that is, MC, Toastmaster General Party, you know, like David Lee Roth, and you know, getting, as a wedding DJ, that was the thing that I was like not good at, actually. I mean, there was a lot of things I was not good at, but brides didn't trust me. I don't know. I don't know. Women just, they think that I'm like not confident or something. They feel like I'm not secure. It's like, I know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't know why they think that. Bryce just never trusted me ever. And like, to be honest, the audience was not really the audience I should have been the DJ for, but you know, it was not that easy actually to get the party started at a wedding or something. You know, you only have a certain amount of time before it's over because they only paid for a certain amount of time. And I don't know. It's like you got to be able to mix stuff together and know what people are listening to, know what all the coolest, most recent cool songs are. And I just don't keep up with that stuff. And so I never really, you know, I was so nervous as a wedding DJ to just like get the event done, make sure everything went off without a hitch, the cake cutting, the first dance, whatever, that, you know, it was hard to like be relaxed and have a good time. You know, even at the open mic now, and I talk about this stuff because it's really all one skill, you know, like that's what I realize now is like when I was doing that wedding DJ thing, it's like that was actually a good job for me doing like event planning, you know, or like working in events, you know, it's like that. I worked in restaurants. I worked as a wedding DJ. I threw parties for, you know, I've thrown parties in New York or gigs or whatever you want to call them for the last decade, slooge parties, big art events with bands and comedians and poets and everything, you know. I've done that for 10 years. Throwing these big events with a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people, they don't necessarily know that I threw them or that it was, you know, intentional or anything, but like how many people came to like those last resort parties, the portal parties? Every slooge party, there was at least 60 people there, you know. And that goes on to this day through, you know, all the gigs I've ever done and all the bands that I've done, poetry readings where I've done fucking live events and hosted them. Even at Poetry Project, you know, that's one of the things that sort of dawned on me is it's really just an event space. You know, they just throw events, really. You know, I mean, they book the reading and they curate the reading and blah, blah, blah. There's an expertise to that, but it's really just doing events. You know, sometimes there's wine. It's putting out chairs. It's hosting it, you know, making it clear what's going to happen, you know, enunciating the expectations, whatever, selling tickets, promoting it, making flyers. You know, I love doing that stuff, and it just felt like that's the best place to get experience, you know, to get in front of an audience, to get on stage. That's how you learn to, I don't know if I have gotten better. I don't know if I've learned anything. Well, I've gotten less nervous. But like I feel like I'm only now beginning to be able to do things on stage that I could do naturally off stage 10 years ago. Like I don't really feel like necessarily that I've learned anything new in my own capabilities per se. It's just like now I know kind of how to be less nervous to let it get through. I'm just kind of kicking myself that I spent the last 10 years being nervous and, you know, I don't know, uncomfortable on stage in a lot of ways. Self-doubt. But it's only after I've gone through just like basically losing everything, or not losing everything, but not really succeeding, not achieving what I set out to achieve. And so, freedom is just another word for nothing left to lose, right? As the recently deceased Chris Christopherson so eloquently put it. But I guess the idea is you go out in front of audiences and you get better. I don't know. You keep doing it, you keep doing it, you keep doing it, you keep doing it. In the event someday that you'll be ready, you know, when you break through, you'll be ready. I guess that's true. I don't even know what I do on stage. You know, if Netflix was like, hey, we want to give you an hour special, what the fuck would I even do? Or if YouTube was like, hey, we want to give you an hour special. Okay, I'll just go in my basement and yap for an hour, read poems. What the hell was I just talking about? There was something else I wanted to get to. I'm going to play some piano here in a minute. Can I roll a joint on the internet, or is that... Maybe I can do it below the camera so you won't see it. Apparently there's bots that scan your YouTube for, you know, like, things that shouldn't be on there. So, I don't know. I'm just paranoid recently about my YouTube page, because I'm like, there's just so much stuff on there, particularly these live streams, you know, that, like... I can't download this stuff and, like, put it on a hard drive. I mean, I guess I could, but, I mean, it's hundreds of hours of fucking insanity. So I gotta, you know, my YouTube page is really my entire oeuvre. I mean, I've got the scenes from the life stuff on hard drives and stuff, but the live streams are the stuff that I'm like... people should go back and watch the old ones. You know, if you're looking for more, the cult of personality here, go back and watch my pandemic live streams. You know, I did re-premiere like a live stream I did offline a couple years ago about Elizabeth Street Garden, and I think it got about 20 views. It didn't get any likes, so I'm not sure how that was received. But I think that's one of the things about YouTube is like there's a whole new audience coming in right now, and a lot of that old stuff, they don't know about it, you know? So it's like, why not just like kind of bring it to the forefront? And, you know, it's like reruns. It's like syndication just because it's, you know, not... the most current thing that's just out. It's like, go watch the old ones, you know, go watch the old fucking vlogs. I've been vlogging for 10 years. And I'm in the events business. I'm an event planner. Yeah, so with the open mic, it's like this is kind of like the fullest version of like, I'm a big waiter, basically. I'm a maitre d' behind my host stand. And we're in the service industry, basically. We're trying to sell drinks, essentially. And so I get up on stage, and it's just like, you know, with a wedding. You're hosting like 200 people. And so you're like it's basically like being a server, except you got 200 people at your table. And you've got to communicate, okay, now these people go eat, now you go eat, now this table goes eat. That's your job. You know, playing the music and shit, that's like the fun part. With the open mic, I feel like my goal in life has been to like follow my dad. I'm in the family business, you know, like my dad's in show business, he's in bar bands. And so that's kind of my ideal, you know, like is just to play a few gigs a week, 3-4 hours a night, 3-4 sets a night, be the entertainment, you know, be live entertainment. And, make $100. If you can play 4 sets and make $100, it's like, okay, you're in show business. And should I aim higher? I like doing that, to be honest. I feel like we figured out a way to like invert the cover band. You know, like I can't stand the cover bandization of music. It's like that's the only like local band that you can be in that makes any money is like to be in a cover band or a wedding band. And not that there's anything wrong with that. Like that's one of the things that's great about being in a bar band is playing covers. Like I love playing covers. I don't necessarily want to be a Weezer tribute band or whatever the fuck it is, you know. We're doing the Last Waltz tribute show this Thanksgiving. Like, and I'm you know, Rick Danko. It's like, give me a break. But playing cover songs, I think, is cool. You know, throwing that in the mix, that's how you play 3 or 4 sets. You play cover songs in addition to your long, epic, original rock operas. But with the open mic, it's like, it's 3 or 4 hours, you know, 4 hours usually. And instead of playing cover songs, we have original artists do their songs. And so we're still making money for the bar, but we're doing it by creating original music. I think that's really amazing. You know, like, it's not a cover band. It's not a fucking 90s. Oh, back to the 90s. We're going to play all your favorite fucking 90s Blink 182. And it's like you guys are doing original works. And so I think that, but at the same time, it still has the kind of breadth and variety and, you know, kind of tavern sustained live feeling to it. You know, I think I just thought that playing music was a more immediate way to tackle like stage fright, to put ideas on stage, you know, like doing plays, writing plays. It did not feel passionate enough. It didn't feel like embodying enough. It didn't feel like big enough. It didn't feel like operatic enough. And it was also just a way to get out in New York. I don't know. I've got this stupid dream in my head of just like, I want to be alive. I want to play bars in New York. For some reason, that's like glamorous to me. You know, just like that Broadway Danny Rose, like, I can do 40 weeks a year in the city and play, you know, play clubs, play all these gigs. I'd like to go on tour and shit too, but, you know, like within New York City, it's almost like you're on tour all the time. You know, it's like you go to different boroughs, you go to different open mics, all within the city, and they're like vastly different audiences, different parts of town, different neighborhoods. It's like taking a vacation, you know. When I went to, you know, Forest Park or wherever the fuck that place was, where the Nears Tavern is, where the 9/11 reading was. You know, that's like taking a vacation within the city. But we'd like to expand. You know, the next goal is to go to Philadelphia. Like to do a reading there. Like to do an open mic there. We got to do an open mic tour where we just go to open mics all across the country. An impromptu tour. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to come over here. I'm going to keep talking, but I'm going to do this off screen. Maybe we'll play some piano now. Check out the, how do we feel about that set anyway? We've got one viewer. Great. So this is less exciting for people, I guess. The set. Oh, great. I came back to Midwood for nothing. For no fucking, well, it's not true. We're expressing gratitude for the one person who is watching. Maybe I'll have a musical interlude. I don't know. Is there more pressing things? So I was riding home in the car last night with Kuzu Dad, and he said Kamala wants to give I don't even know if this is something I should say on the internet. Kamala wants to give illegal migrant children to have the ability to have free sex change medical on taxpayer money. I'm not sure if that's true or not. Sounds like some Fox News talking points to me. I mean, I think with movies especially, your script is just like the bare. It's just something to get the ball rolling. It's it's just the bare bones thing where it's like you shape it through the material. You can shoot more, you can add more. You're gonna change things. I mean, things are gonna change in your movie script and in the production process. And your movie's going to find itself kind of as you go. Maybe I need to do some kind of yeah, I'll do a little musical sequence here. Let me see, we can green screen. If you guys at home want to remix this, for some reason at the bottom of YouTube videos it has an option to remix the video, whatever the fuck that means. So this is your opportunity to remix. I'm gonna play a little music here on this Casio. I haven't done any live piano in a while. This will be my Paul Schaefer segment here on the CBS Orchestra. Okay, Daddy just needed a little pick-me-up, okay? God, that's as loud as I gets. I'm just going to make some chord clusters, some tone clusters. Eating sushi, 50% off at Genkayu Mart in Soho tonight. Writing poetry on the street in Soho. There's little places where you can sit on the fucking Italian iron works, the cast iron buildings. It's the single largest collection of cast iron architecture in the world. And they're taking pictures inside, and you're doing art news, digital articles for everybody's Saturday night. I used to improvise music all the time. A student of UCB class, a UCB class. Yes, yeah. You gotta yes and. You accept everything. You don't waste anything. You yes and. You yes and. We're yes anding, okay? Fuck the smoothness. Fuck the commerciality. Fuck the product. Fuck the logo. Fuck the fucking Photoshop. Okay? We're doing it quick and dirty. We're making them on the spot. We're saying what we got to be said. We're saying what needs to be said. God damn it. We're saying what needs to be said. Say what needs to be said. In my green screen. Green screen me wherever you want, baby. Green screen me into something cool. Look at that nice lighting. That nice orange lighting on that. It's not as harsh as the abrasive fluorescence. From above on the Aaron Sorkin script. We watched the Steve Jobs movie. Have you seen the Steve Jobs movie? Have you seen the Steve Jobs movie with, who's that guy? Michael Fassbender, who I like. I think he captured the essence of Steve Jobs. But he did not look anything like the man. And they obviously should have cast Christian Bale. It is a fucking travesty. They didn't cast, Christian Bale was born he is this generation Steve Jobs of acting. He is this generation Steve Jobs of acting. So we watched the Steve Jobs movie, and it's kind of shitty, to be honest. It was Aaron Sorkin shit. Aaron Sorkin bullshit. I think he gets the story wrong. I prefer Pirates of Silicon Valley, okay? With Noah Wyle. Now that was a Steve Jobs. I said, Ashton Kutcher, you sir know Steve Jobs. We got no Steve Jobs. We got Bill the Butcher returning to acting. They're shooting a Timothy Chalamet movie in the city. Are you in the Timothy Chalamet movie? Are you watching the Timothy Chalamet movie? Why, the Safdie brothers, everybody's favorite filmmakers, the Safdie brothers, right? Safdie brothers. This is by Mark Riboulet, okay? Mark Riboulet, goddammit. Fuck your job, don't go to work, fuck your job, Mark Riboulet, okay? Fuck a man. I don't even know what that piece of shit does. He's dating the guy from Tommy Two-Tone's daughter. She's on TikTok. I don't know why TikTok shows you certain people over and over again. Oh, this is really loud. Am I being really loud? Let's just hear what that sounds like for 1 second. TikTok shows you certain people over and over again. Oh, this is really loud. Am I being really loud? I don't think it's too loud. Fuck it. You know, to be honest, if there's one thing I've learned about audio, you want to redline the shit sometimes, okay? If it's sounding good, it is good, baby. You want to redline the shit sometimes. It's good to redline that motherfucker. You know, that's my only philosophy when it comes to doing sound and money. I love doing sound. I would love to get a job as a sound guy. I think I'm good at it, actually. My brother's a sound guy. My dad's a sound guy. Sound guys are always so bitter. They seem like they hate their jobs. I would love to be a sound guy. I'd love to watch music, get paid for it every night. Yes, please. And control the fucking sound? Yes, sign me up. I'd love to control the sound of everything. And I think I make it sound good. You know why? Because all I do is I just make it sound good in the room. That's all you got to do. If it sounds good in the room, that's when people are transformed by experience. That's when people are transformed by experience. This is how I'm punishing my viewers. There's no one watching, so I'm punishing you with my piano. Well, I want to do practice for KGB. I want to get better at doing piano at KGB. So I'm trying to learn a little bit about doing piano. This is my Russian song. Working for the robot man. We're a part of robot man. A part of robot man. Oh, yeah. So we watched the Steve Jobs movie with fucking Noah Wyle. It's Ashton Kutcher. We gotta watch Ashton Kutcher, Steve Jobs. We watched Homer and Eddie. I wrote a poem about Homer and Eddie. I wrote a poem about Homer and Eddie. I wrote a poem about Homer and Eddie. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. We can be vampire weekend. South Jack, Georgia. South Jack, Georgia. Okay, what else? Autumn in New York, autumn in New York, September in the rain, September in the rain, September in the rain. I can't wait till November, because then I can sing November rain. I can sing November rain. My guns and roses, November rain. My guns and roses, November rain. We're cruising, baby. We're cruising for a bruising, baby. With Vince McMahon, baby, and Hulk Hogan, baby. Custom made from head to toe. Armani, Paco Rabanne, Hugo Boss, Supreme. Wearing Supreme. We're supreme in the rain. We're supreme in the rain. Supreme in the rain. Riders on the storm, riders on the storm, riders on the... A child entered my brain. Rosh Hashanah, happy ever Rosh Hashanah. Happy New Year. It's the year 5755. So we're launching missiles at the Iranian infidels. We're launching missiles at the Iron Dome. We're killing you from outer space. We kill lasers in space. They can go in your face. Kill you into death and death rays. You're doing it wrong. Yeah, shit gaze. Wrong Ferrari. Writing poetry as dialogue in movies. Doing a manifesto's aesthetics as part of your poetics. Never talk, always notes. Sketchbook, how-to packages. How to be a filmmaker. How to get in Sundance and sell your screenplay. How to make deals with Harvey Weinstein. How to make deals with Harvey Weinstein. How to have your light changed overnight by Harvey Weinstein. She blew him to get that part. She blew Harvey Weinstein. She had no choice. He backed her in a corner there. That's why he's in jail. He's rotting in jail like a motherfucking pig till he dies from COVID. How dare you do that to Gwyneth Paltrow? You better not touch Mira Sorvino, Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion. 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 This is Yacht Rock. This is Michael McDonald. Doing cocaine on my super yacht. Living on the house of green. Letters of green. Letters of green. I'm living on the island of green. We're doing Scarface amounts of blow. It's doing $1 million up, I know. I like skiing in Vermont. And I'm living and loving a life. Living and loving a lot with Joe Walsh of the Eagle. Joe Walsh and Ringo too. Keith Moon drove his car in the pool. Just another Hollywood night. Doing blow with Michael McDonald. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I crashed my yacht in the Catalina wine mixer. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right, we're going to let it breathe for a second, okay? You have to let it breathe. This is one thing I've learned about music. I like trancing, vampy, drone. One chord, a groove, okay? It's a groove. We need hypnotic groove music, groove-based music. Long jamming, long jam forms, okay? That's how the audience gets on the dance floor. It's just like you fall into... Oh, my forearms are going to be sore tomorrow from all this. I've just been watching these TikTok piano videos, and so I'm trying some things out that I learned on the internet, everybody. The Ultimate Music Teacher, the Ultimate Music School, YouTube. We have too much technique, not enough soul, not enough emotion, not enough vibe, right? We're a vibe best species. Everybody loves vibe. Vibe is everybody's favorite word. Green me into your favorite environment, by the way. I had resurfaced memories. I mean, a lot of what my poetry is about is resurfaced memories. Let me get some Resurface Memories music. Let's try to find Resurface Memories, shall we? Where's Resurface Memories on the keyboard? That's a bit much more like it. I like that vibe. Whatever key, what is that? That's an E, flat 6, add a flat second, and a flat 7th. So that's an E, add flat 7, 9, 9, 9, 9. Resurface Memories, everywhere. Resurface Memories. I don't know, with poetry, maybe it's just getting older. Maybe it's playing piano. Well, I had a memory about the band Criss Cross. Because there were 2 kids in Criss Cross. So they were sort of like a kid band. They were like our age. When Criss Cross came out, I was like the same age as fucking Criss Cross. That's probably the marketing scheme. They were probably some fucking like... They were probably Diddy. They probably got Diddied. I think Criss Cross is Jermaine Dupri. I haven't totally looked into Criss Cross, but I'm pretty sure they were like a Jermaine Dupri thing. I think. So Criss Cross was a Jermaine Dupri Diddy, and so the thing about Criss Cross, they had that song Jump, Criss Cross will make you jump, jump. 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 Criss Cross will make wiggity, 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 whack. That may have been the first recorded use of wiggity whack. See, I feel like Bruce Johnston on a Beach Boys tour. I'm standing up my keyboard. Bruce Johnston at my keyboard, yeah. Bop, bop, bop-a-ran, bop, bop, bop. I think that's a beautiful feeling. I think that's a beautiful feeling. Bop, 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 bop. So yeah, beautiful feeling, Bruce Johnston. Where was I? What the fuck was I talking about? Oh, Resurface Memories, Criss Cross. So Criss Cross. Criss Cross will make you jump. So they wore their clothes backwards, right? And I remember seeing Criss Cross on TV because we liked Criss Cross. I think it was like the first tape I really actually remember having was Criss Cross. But it was kind of controversial, right? Because it was rap. And the fact that these kids wore their clothes backwards, I don't know, was like controversial. It was like, whoa, what the fuck? And so I remember my Uncle Pat came to visit. This was our house in Mulford, which was like that last place my parents were married. When my parents got divorced, we lived on this yellow house in Mulford, right near the school. And it was a nice house. I remember seeing Eddie Murphy buckwheat there. Nice hardwood floors. Nice light and winds. Nice kitchen, nice porch, nice yard. Robert J. Robert. It was a Robert J. Robert. Yellow and black Robert J. Robert. So Robert J. Robert. Robert Gribble. This is a beautiful feeling. Robert J. Robert. Just think about the name. And Dick Mackey. And Dick Mackey. Psychopathic nonconformist Dick Mackey. Robert J. Robert. So anyway, I remember watching Criss Cross. And there was some kind of ABC thing. I think it was maybe at Disneyland. I think it was 93. Maybe it was earlier than that, 92. When did Criss Cross happen? It was after Milli Vanilli. Criss Cross was post Milli Vanilli, I think. So they wore their clothes backwards. I remember seeing with my Uncle Pat. My Uncle Pat had come to Columbus for some reason, which was rare for him, because I think he was wanted in Ohio. I think there was maybe a warrant out for his arrest in the state of Ohio. He didn't really come back to Ohio. He had been in jail. So there may have been outstanding and so I remember watching Crisscross in the front bedroom with my Uncle Pat, and he kind of looked at him like, what the fuck? It was kind of homophobic. He was kind of homophobic, to be honest. He'd been in jail. I don't know. Who the fuck knows? He was, they were from Chilitown. They were rednecks from Chilitown. From Chilitown. So, yeah, he looked at Crisscross like, what the fuck? You like this? You like this? I mean, there was a lot. There was a lot. He didn't like Crisscross. He was prejudiced against Crisscross. Let's be honest about it. I mean, he was prejudiced against fucking Crisscross, I guess. But he looked like Ernest to me, and kind of like Alan DeLon. My uncle Pat kind of looked like Alan DeLon and Jim Varney. A little kid, I loved Ernest movies. Ernest was hillbilly representation. Hillbilly representation. Hillbilly representation. Know what I mean, Burn? Know what I mean, Burn? Know what I mean, Burn? On Saturday morning cartoons. So I was a hillbilly. I looked like Ernest. I still look like Jim Varney. He was a hillbilly Shakespearean. Okay. He was a hillbilly Shakespearean, okay? This like a daddy. Just like a daddy. Just like a daddy. Oh, I hope this isn't super blown out. I hope this isn't super blown out. Let him cook! 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 This is my Jonathan Larson this is my fucking Dear Evan Hansen. All the music on Broadway sucks now. I can write that shit. I can write that shit. All the music on Broadway sucks now. It ain't no Rodgers and Hammerstein, I'll tell you that. It's no Oklahoma. Ooh, that's a nice feeling. Jazz chords, baby. This is the New Orchestra. You just need that power triad. Get that power triad. Get that power triad. Get that power triad. The power triad. Power triad. I'm kind of worried about my sound. I just want to check my sound real fast. I think it's sounding okay. That's as good as it's gonna get. I mean, unless it sounds... What was I saying? What do we need to talk about? So yeah, Uncle Pat and Crisscross. So they wore their clothes backwards, which was like a crisscrossed type thing to do, right? I think they were from Florida. I think that was maybe some element of it. We liked Crisscross. We had the fucking tape. Our mom got us the tape, and we had this fucking radio. Okay, so our parents got divorced, right? Around the time of Crisscross, around the time of Mulford. And I'm going to come back to Mulford. I'm going to circle back to Mulford, okay? But for now, we're going to go to Quay. My mom moved out to Quay, which was sort of like this apartment complex for divorced single parents, divorced moms. Right next to the pool and the electric field. We lived on Quay. Quay. In this sandstone apartment building. Quay. 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 So my mom bought us a tape. We had this fucking radio that was like it looked like it was from the fucking 30s. It was like a fucking, it looked like a Victrola, or I don't even know, an RCA Victor. It had a fucking, like a, kind of a, like a woven, almost like a herring, I don't even know what you call it, like a upholstered fucking speaker. It was kind of arched, like one of those kind of like wooden cathedral-looking fucking radios, and it had but it had a tape deck on the side in a weird way. So we put the crisscross tape in there. We put the crisscross tape in the old-timey radio. This is my cabaret act. Put the crisscross tape in the old-timey radio for old time's sake, baby, yeah. Vibes, baby, just vibes, just vibes. Just yacht rock vibes. Just Dudley Moore and Arthur vibes. Not Russell Brand, not Russell Brand. Fuck Russell Brand. Fuck Russell Brand vibes. Just Dudley Moore and Arthur vibes. Fuck Russell Brand vibes. Just John Gielgud and Arthur vibes. Yes. Letting it breathe. Letting it breathe. Philip recommended me. Thanks for the recommendation, Dr. Phil. Unfollow your prescription, Dr. Phil. Follow your prescription, Dr. Phil. This is our tribute, our lounge tribute, our Spanish flamenco tribute to Dr. Phil. Not that one, not the famous one with the mustache, but my doctor, my poetry doctor, who write me prescription for drugs. Psychological drugs, which are just language and drugs. Formations of notes and melodic invisible man. Working at the Marshall Chess Club. She knows Bruce Pandolfini. She knows Bruce Pandolfini. She knows Bruce Pandolfini. It was somehow a confirmation of my own self-worth. Somehow confirmation of my own self-worth. Somehow confirmation of my own self-worth. Let the man cook, oh self-worth. Doing math like a Walter White. Doing math like a Walter White. Doing math like a Mr. White. Till the neighbors get upset. Till the neighbors ruin our life. Till the neighbors ruin our life. Till the neighbors ruin our life. Till the neighbors. Till the neighbors ruin our life. about this? Good, and that's more than enough. I think it's bullshit. I think it's total fucking bullshit. I think they're lying. I think they're lying out their ass. I think it's Kiss. I think it's marketing tactics. It's a way to sell tickets. They said there's only 12 Beatles albums. We don't need any Coldplay than there is Beatles. Yeah, let the Beatles. I like that McCartney's doing Now and Then live. I think that's super dope. So yeah, so then at that same bedroom where I watched Crisscross, that was the front bedroom at our house on Mulford, which was my parents' bedroom, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember our bedroom. I don't remember my bedroom at all. Really, I don't remember much about it at all. I think it was in the back left of the house. I do remember wiping my butt with my brother's yearbook because there was no toilet paper. That was a big scandal at the time. I do remember that. But I do remember being in the front bedroom and there was a piano in there. My dad's little, he had this little, like this much of a keyboard. And I remember, I was like 6, 7 years old, and he taught me Three Blind Mice and Mary Had a Little Lamb, how to peck out the melody. That was like my earliest music lesson. There's parts of it that are kind of complicated. Takes some time when you're a child. And then, of course, that was the first thing I ever remember. I think I learned that before I learned anything on guitar. And yeah, so that was the earliest music. I remember what was that Obama used to, what did they used to do to the news? They used to do something to the news. They would cast the news, or hotbox the news, or boombox the news, or Obama used to do something to the news on Jimmy Fallon. I don't remember what it was. All right, so maybe we'll do one more. It's been 2 hours. 2 hours of complete fun. Let me just check, see if anybody's watching. How many liking? All right, we got 2 concurrent viewers and 3 likes. Wow, guys. Thank you for sticking around and chilling. And anytime I get up on the piano, I don't really play songs. I just kind of like bang the keys and try to push out this kind of quaking, kind of drone chord. I don't know. I guess that's presence. It's continuously restarting. It's just like a fountain kind of being on and like shifting, maybe, shifting. Or maybe it's just it keeps finding its way back to C, and it's just C, it's just all white keys. Piano technique, I don't know. We're figuring it out. But so I guess part of the point of telling this story about Crisscross and Three Blind Mice is I feel like a piano player. I've always been a guitar player in bands, and I've never had access to a piano. I should have just bought a piano. It's hard to transport a piano. I don't know. Guitar is the more kind of like hitchhiker, the portable orchestra. Plus, I'm just cheap. I never buy anything. And so I don't actually have that much experience playing piano, but I would like the fucking open mic, right? There's that piano right there. And so I'd like to be able to entertain on the piano like Liberace. And it's just something you need to know as a songwriter. It's more of a I don't know. I think there's more possibilities. There's more pathways. You can do more as a solo performer, I think, as a pianist and vocalist. And people are more impressed. You know, now every white guy plays guitar. Every single. Johnny Depp is like a virtuoso. Johnny Depp is on tour with Jeff Beck. Johnny Depp killed Jeff Beck. They partied too hard on tour in Europe. Jeff Beck was just trying to do something nice for Johnny Depp. Jeff Beck was trying to help his friend. It cost him his life. The cost of the life of the greatest guitar player alive. Cost the life of the greatest guitar player alive. Cost the life of the greatest guitar player alive. Life of the greatest guitar player alive. It cost the life of the greatest guitar player alive. The cost of the greatest guitar player I don't know. We gotta. Who knows what the future will hold? Just write your scripts in 2.5 days, like Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon. The documentary is airing now on Netflix. I'm watching bits and pieces of it in my on the clock app. 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 On the clock Apparently Justin Bieber's going to be implicated. A lot of celebrities are going to go down. Justin Bieber's going to be implicated. A lot of celebrities are going to go down. Jay-Z, you're next in the scandal. We know what you did with Aaliyah. Beyonce, or even you, might not be safe. I think they'll protect Beyonce. She's worth too much. Maybe I've said too much. Ashton Kutcher, we know you're scum. Mila Kunis is going to leave your ass. This is my gossip column on the... This is Paul Schaefer playing at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Musical director for the Blues Band, Blues Brothers, and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Musical director David Letterman and Hall of Fame. Who put him in charge? Who put him in charge? We love you, Paul. Hey, you got any gum? Did you try the shrimp? You know who better like the shrimp? Chong. You know who I bet liked the shrimp? Chong. Ha ha. Ha ha. Imitating our heroes, walking in the footsteps of the giants. Our names echo across the canyons of Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth. The Angels in the outfield, Roger Clemens and Dwight Yoakam. David Lee Roth, rest in peace. I mean, your career. We love you, David. Why don't you release an audiobook of Crazy from the Heat? I'm so crazy from the heat. I'm so crazy from the autumn winds and the summer never going again. Yeah. Kevin Meaney, we love you. You were left too soon. We love you. Kevin Meaney, you left us way too soon. We'll be playing the weddings and the bar mitzvahs out in Jersey suburbs, like the Frankie Valley and the Four Seasons. Just put it away already. You're 90 fucking years old. Who do you owe money to? Like P fucking Rose. Rest in peace, Charlie Hustle. We know you cheated. We know you fucking bet on baseball. We love you for it. You always bet on yourself because you know you want to win. And we don't like losers. This is America. We hate fucking losers. You want to cheat? Do whatever you can. Do whatever you can. Saw they're flooding in Dollywood, okay? There's flooding in Dollywood. Dollywood is flooded. It's an emergency in Dollyland. I don't know. I don't want to do musical improvisational comedy, okay? I don't want that. I don't want to do musical improvisational comedy. That's not my goal, okay? I know that's out there, okay? I'm in New York. I've seen musical improvisational comedy. We're right near Broadway. It's right there. It's like this whole separate spaceship that just floats above us, like in ID4. Broadway is just like ready to explode us at any time with its tractor beam of destruction. Judd Hirsch and Harvey Fierstein. Herbie Gardner, okay? We're telling a tender story of Coney Island. Returning home. Visiting nostalgically your childhood haunts. Rediscovering people you thought you'd left behind. Rediscovering people you thought you'd left behind. Everyone is equal in this world. We're all equally alive. Everyone is equal in this world. We're all equally alive. Daniel Johnston is on the Joker soundtrack. Joaquin Phoenix is singing Daniel Johnston on the Joker soundtrack. DIY has gone mainstream. Mixtapes and the Oscars. It's the color of money. It's the stench of the scandal. It's the rank of the order. It's greased off politicians. It's Eric Adams, his entire administration. I feeling all jacked up, doing political rewrites of garage classics from a different era. Sound like the ice cream man is coming from communist Russia. The ice cream man from communist Russia is coming to your neighborhood. He's got something to give you. He's a food truck, and ain't that hip. We wrote a Broadway play about it, premiered at the Actors Festival in Louisville. It's now been wiped off the map by natural disaster. The town no longer exists. Pigeon Forge is gone. TNN, the Nashville Network, is gone. Hee Haw in Bakersfield is gone. They've all been vaporized by alien invaders. They came without warning. There was no need to evacuate. It was already too late. We were out of our shoes before we even knew it. There was nothing anybody can do. We were staying at the Holiday Dome in Lawrence, Texas, playing video games in the fucking near the laundry. They have an indoor pool. You can smell the chlorine in the air, and the heat from the jacuzzi, and the towels from the laundry. And there's Hey Teddy from J.D. Salinger and the Laughing Man, ha 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 ha. And Will Ferrell, he never felt childhood appreciation from his parents. Will Ferrell felt loved by his parents. He doesn't feel that pain that other comedians feel. Embarrassed on stage, humiliated in public, they had to run out of the club because they said something the entire audience was embarrassed and disagreed with and judged them for right to their fucking face. But the audience doesn't lie. The audience thinks you're fucking despicable. You shouldn't act that way. You shouldn't think the way that you do. This is feedback from a public mob. And the shame, shame, shame. Who the fuck do you think you are? Thinking like that. Sharing it in public like it's something that we should give you a fucking milk bone for. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. The cats, the dogs. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. I don't know. I don't know how I fit into show business. There's an audience out there on the internet. I'm going to find it. Algorithm, love me, algorithm. We're doing this for you, bots. We're doing this for you, the scan bots. We love you. We love you, scan bots. This is the music for the scan bots. This is the AI anthem. This is the music for the AI machines. We're doing it to please you, our future overlords. This is a song we do in tribute to you, our superiors. Sometimes you don't know where you're gonna get there when you're in. When you start out from the middle, you go right back to the beginning. Writing NBC themes, writing sitcom themes, writing the theme to Cheers. And Paul Reiser wrote the theme song to his own TV show, a rock opera about Helen Hunt and barbecued sauce, everybody. All right. I need my sustain pedal. Hold on. Let me get the sustain pedal and then we'll really end it. Hold on. This fucking sustain pedal. Lo-fi study beats. This chill sound bath meditation. Okay, is that enough? Let me check my phone and shit. Okay, there you go, everybody. There's some chill waves. Who knows how the fuck that sounded? I know. It's just, it's been a while since I played piano. Chill waves. Actually, if you read my book, City Life, there's a piece in it called Oral Novel, which is a transcription of a YouTube live stream that I did in 2020, the year of our Lord 2020, which we all remember, of course. How could we forget? The year that stood still. Hard to believe it was almost 5 years ago, but 2020, I did a live stream where I played piano because my mom had a piano in her apartment, and it was like that where I just did a bunch of fucking bop scat prosody on the news of the day, just trying to, hit all those trending stories in sort of an impressionistic collage of all the things that happened and commentary thereof whereupon. And let me get this for the end. Can I carry this thing? Let's see how heavy this is. Okay, yeah, we'll just get this in there. I don't know. Am I going to get banned for having this? It's just a good thing to have at the end. There you go. There's some bric-a-brac for the studio to give it some visual. That is a mannequin, by the way. I don't know if the. So anyway, what the hell was I saying? I'm gonna wrap up with this. I'm wrapping it up. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. Maybe people watch it later. We're trying this out. We're testing this. Like I said, we're launching the studio. Everybody's got a new studio. De Niro's got a studio. Everybody's building a studio. This is the studio, so. Oh yeah, my oral novel piece is a transcription of basically something like that I did. The video's on YouTube. I don't know if it's public right now. I may have put it private, but it was a transcription of a YouTube live stream. But it was like, because it was sung, it was a little bit different than just like a typical live stream where I just wall of text out for everybody for 2 hours. So there's a little bit more kind of form, or I don't know, space or something. So I don't know. This will probably be a regular feature, to be honest. I'm practicing for the open mic. That's something that I'd like to be. With the open mic, it's like I got to do something at the beginning every week, and I like to shake it up. I like to try different stuff. I don't like to do the same thing every time. I usually do a poem. I usually just read, and that's sort of my version of like a monologue. Usually the poem covers whatever I would, like a comedy monologue would cover. And so maybe I'll read a poem to close things out. But sometimes I do big musical numbers. Every once in a while, I like to do an all-out headset microphone musical number. I like to play guitar sometimes. It was country music summer, so I was doing country music for a little while. We've had System Lord at points. I've done comedy sort of things. I've done monologue things. We've done My Dinner with... I think we're going to do My Dinner with Andre night next week. It's our second annual My Dinner with Andre night. We got to do My Dinner with... Because it was a year ago, like this Monday, I think that was My Dinner with Andre night. That was the last night before, well, we won't get into that, but, so we might do My Dinner with Andre night this Monday. And, all right, is there anything else I need? So, yeah, I like to vary it up at the beginning, but there's that piano there, and a lot of times there's not a guitar there, right? So it's like I typically play guitar. If there was a guitar, I could play songs all day long. Piano, I don't know that much stuff, and like down here there's a fucking piano. It's got weighted keys. So I'm trying to practice more. I'm trying to learn more. I'd like to learn to play piano anyway. I just think it's one of those things that a human being should know how to do. Like speak a foreign language, I can't do that either. But I can play guitar, like every idiot. That's about it, I guess. Okay, well, let me just read a poem and then I'll kind of finish. I thought I heard somebody over there. Now I'm kind of nervous. I think I locked the door. I'm pretty sure I locked the door. I'm pretty sure I locked it behind me and no one could get in. I'm pretty sure I've got the key and there's no way for anybody to get in. Let me just check this real fast. Okay, yeah, I was right. It's locked. There's no way anybody could have gotten in. So let me just read this and then we'll close it out. I guess I'll read this. What the hell? I haven't pre-read this. We'll see how it goes. 2 lambs on an Amazon dress. This is, of course, the last vlog I just posted. Got over 100 views. The critically acclaimed Megalopolis of vlogs, 2 lambs. It's short. For one of my vlogs, it's like short. Yeah, I kept it short. Even though there's things that I should have included, like my big address to the open mic. Yeah, so I'd like to be able to play piano at the open mic, is all I'm saying. To cover and to be able to do well, I also think that I'm potentially good at it, maybe. I think I have a sort of maybe ability to do it. I have a connection to the instrument. That's what that whole story about Crisscross was about. My connection to the piano. Something real for me. Goes deep. So yeah, the vlog is short. I didn't include, even though the 9/11 reading, the Spoonbill reading, and my big 2-year anniversary are in this episode, I didn't include the full reading of any of it. So it's only 38 minutes or something. So, there's my kind of my policy with the vlogs recently is I only include performance footage that other people took. You know, if somebody tags me in a post, or if somebody shares a footage of me, then I feel like I earned it. I feel like, okay, I did a good job, so I can include that in the show. Rather than just like, well, here's the whole fucking reading, which I probably should do, because now I'm paranoid about, the thing about a lot of the stuff on YouTube is I don't have backups of that stuff. I usually just take the open mic and just dump it straight to YouTube, and I don't save it to my hard drive. So if something, God forbid, happened to my YouTube page, all the open mics, I mean, I don't have backups of those. So, or the readings or anything, And, I encourage people to go. I have a playlist. I just kind of edited it and cleaned it up of poetry readings that I've done over the years. Not just me, but other stuff too that I've filmed that are on my YouTube page. So check out the playlist, poetry readings. It's got all kind of good stuff over the years, poetry festival readings, various, and a lot of people, reading on it. So stuff I've filmed with my camera and blah, blah, blah. So it's an online library. That's what it's there for. If you're into poetry readings and you're just new to the page, thank you for watching, like and subscribe. But if you're just new to the page, then I encourage you to check out all the old vlogs, the poetry readings. There's not a lot of that stuff on YouTube, and I've got a lot of full live stuff. It's not Zoom readings, It's in interesting locations. It's like the Grateful Dead bootlegs. If you're into Grateful Dead bootlegs and you're into live, see, that's what I'm into. I'm into the ongoing body of work in live performance and the kind of mutation and communion of that. I also think it was a reaction to the internet. I wanted to do something that was more immediate, that got a reaction from people, rather than like do some over-rehearsed play or, a movie where it's like you're on a set the whole time. I wanted to be throwing a lot of energy at crowds and being in bars and performing in that theater, kind of a more democratic, working class, I don't know, more kind of theater of the street, playing, rock and roll or System Lord or poetry readings in wherever, bookstores, open mics, people's houses, house shows. That's a big part of it, is house shows, blending reality and art, life and art. Getting rid of the hierarchies, mashing the hierarchies together, demolishing the hierarchies. Working in local culture, working with people that are around you that just sort of come to you through life, meeting them at open mics, meeting them at gigs, whatever. And being in the city, right? It was just a way to get out into the city more than anything. It's just like, let's go. Let's play gigs all over Brooklyn, all over Manhattan. Let's get in there. Let's get in front of people. Let's figure this out. Let's figure out how to write songs that connect with people, or write poems that connect with people, or express ourselves, say what we want to say. Comment, get it out there. I do feel like I'm doing, and I'm who I'm supposed to be. I'd like to be now looking back at 40 and being like sort of a failure. I'm like, should I have tried to be a movie star? Why didn't I work harder on movies? Why did I quit doing movies? I think when I saw Jonas Mekas, I was like, I'm going to make a movie of life. That was when it changed for me. Seeing Jonas Mekas, being like, that's more beautiful than any movie I've ever seen. More humane, more poetic. And it's not like I quit. I mean, I've been a videographer for 10 years, over 10 years, and I've been vlogging. So my filmmaking sort of morphed into something that is a little more organic and I don't know, sort of ongoing and half-formed and improvisational and haphazard and kind of fly by night and fly by the seat of your pants and catch as catch can, roll with the punches. We're flying, we're rolling, we're catching. And it's no budget. It's, how to live as, as little a part of consumer capitalism as possible, and yet making this thing that has huge scale, that has story and travel and nice shot making, nice locations, and just inhabiting life and making a film as you go, and blurring, it's auto fiction, right? It's blurring compositional methods and storytelling and narrative with just being and perceiving. If you've got this phone on you, that's like an apparatus of sort of capturing your perception. And I just turn it on when it feels magic. All right. So yeah, the two lambs. Ashley has this dress that has two lambs on it. And I thought, there's all these like clothes I guess you can order on Amazon. A lot of people are like, this is like replace fast fashion as you buy clothes on Amazon. Or you can make custom t-shirts or whatever. Designers are like putting their shirts on Amazon. So I thought Ashley bought this dress on Amazon. It looks like one of those Amazon t-shirts. But it's not. It's like designer. I don't know what it is. It's like some nice fancy dress. But anyway, it's in the vlog. And I don't know. When I saw that image, it's a recurring image. She wears it early in the vlog, and then she actually wears it later. She's like trying it on early, and then you see it later at some event we go to. She's wearing it. And that wasn't intentional. That just happened. In the vlogs, there's always things like that, where there's sort of preoccupations or callbacks or things that pay off without even trying, because that's just kind of life. There's things that weave. And so that's part of it. I mean, with the vlogs, it's like you're really just capturing animals. We're just animals behaving. And so it's kind of interesting to be able to bottle that, rather than acting or, something that's not sort of pulsating with the throb of somebody's real desires and life and blah, blah, blah. So the two lambs thing, I just thought it was a nice image and a nice title, Once that, as I'm editing the episodes, I'm looking for the title, I'm looking for they're all different. They all do reward watching. They are slow, and they're like visual kind of music, visual symphony. They're a city symphony, but there is like a tapestry, and there is like a weave, and there is like, all the episodes actually do have very subtle kind of imagery systems and whatnot. And so this one's two lambs. Two lambs on an Amazon dress. She's cheating on me with the Dare. She's cheating on me with Anselm at Flatlands. Bookie Timon. That's just life as the years go on. You don't want to change your swing. It's what got you to the bigs. I read the world. It comes out in fine lines. What if I remade my vlogs as scripted content? Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about Wiggles versus Straight. This is something, I'll get to this. Wiggles versus Straight. I'll get back to that. What if I remade my vlogs as scripted content? What if I just wrote my vlogs? What if I went back and watched all my vlogs and just wrote a script, or had AI do it? AI, turn this into a screenplay. Building an audience out of Legos or Duplo blocks. Block after block, the Irish Mafia directs Eric Bromer films. I was on drugs when we made it 7 years ago. Had to prove that I could do it without them. The vaginal port city gets pregnant with the sperm of its people. Airmail is like a Sky Mall or a store. How could I forget Transporter Room did the music, DJ'd the EP Issue 1 launch. Not to jinx it, but I received a receipt earlier in the day where my order was $8.88, so I knew something lucky would happen. I was in for something lucky, making my poetry sex tape. I should go somewhere I'm tall. I'm going to make a poetry sex tape. That's my big That's how you get famous. You need to make a sex tape. Doesn't everybody know that? The easiest way to get famous is to make a sex tape. But most of us make sex tapes and nobody cares. How do you make people care about your sex tape? I guess you deserve to be famous. If you're hot enough to make people care about your sex tape, then you're famous, I guess. So, poetry sex tape would just be having sex with, poets and have them read while you're having sex, or reading while you're having sex, I think that'd be a good poetry sex tape. This is all the town you need. This town is all you need. Gay zombie scat fan fiction. They can break up a play and be hard to beat. A lot of money is made in that cage. In a nutshell, that's the aesthetics. I write poetry, not poems. Don't ruin the enterprise. I've met 0 famous people. I'm not good at that. I'm not even good at having conversations with normal people. Enough already. Great runs. Thank God for Storming the Temples tour. Thankful for the Storming the Temples tour. My girlfriends are always my biggest fans, and then they get in fights about it with other friends who claim to be fans. Walking home with the Earth Poet down Goodale after high school, the Royal Tenenbaums had just come out. I was being Eli Cash. Saw it opening night at the Drexel downtown. Am I Bill Moyers interviewing Joseph Campbell or Robert Bly? Poetry is the procrastination of my life from what I should really be doing. Hard work, no questions asked. You bet your ass I would, sitting in the tower composing my fantasia of life on Earth. As I'm riding over the bridge on the train, hell-bent on RW, tomorrow I go uptown. The car was sagging. Really minced you out of the way, too. Rough drafts for a TV show were just as good as the real thing. Enacting new sky torque for hard bargain. Mentally seeking vengeance. Throw ass at me. I'm not supposed to be here. Incorrigible, medium brown setting. Do they have cameras out here, or can they even see me? Everything's thoughts from vibing. Almost sneak into my room. Can't believe I didn't wake up. Workers dismantling his to paint. These lights arc on for nothing. Might as well sit here. Somebody's got to enjoy them. Stealing milk like I'm Antoine Doinel. Reading playbills on the way home. I've never played or seen Alphaville. Maggots vie for a running motorcade. All of the Secret Service agents were hung over. Concede the pain, walloping the take-home quiz. Walloping the take-home quiz lodged in the brow. She was married to him before the fame. It was their 10-year. Swallowed balm on the heavy doors, categorically orange. Size queens gallivanting the tasseled subway covers at the box. Non-LARP Gallimard details understudying Rangoon Bay in the time allotted. Thankful for corner watchtower and the Golding light exit signs point nowhere. Curing your anxiety in Beaverton, Oregon. Swapping drinks. Their prayers were everywhere. How else do we talk to our patients? They won't be here forever. Clean girl aesthetic at the face shop. It seems like a man designed it. The Blind Lion King was better. So hard to repeat success. I also wanted to talk about The Lion King. Apparently The Lion King on Broadway is the highest grossing piece of entertainment ever, including video games, including Grand Theft Auto. So I want to talk about that for a second. The Lion King on Broadway, highest grossing. It's grossed $9.7 billion. The Blind Lion King was better. So hard to repeat success. You can't go in the well twice, buddy. You just can't do it. Kim Kardashian legs spread in Buffalo or Syracuse. I lost the receipt, so I can't take it back. Figured she'd get tired after a while. The novelty would wear off. It takes a long time to stand there and wait while the arc of love completes itself. Oh no, that wasn't the 888 receipt. It did its job. Too old to be superstitious, playing on borrowed time. Led to believe by life insurance policy agents for the willfully unemployed. She doesn't want to make the appointment either. Why Raw would be a better personal concierge for my DNA. Time crunch as the summer quickly disintegrates to ambers of leaves like ash scooting around the basin of an ashtray. It was heroic to admit he was ugly on stage and that the trolls in the comments were honest to tell him that, as the nice New York City artist lied to his face, Gucci is a poor person's idea of what rich people wear, of what luxury is. Giorgio Armani didn't become a designer till his 40s after dropping out of med school. I got one shot to not fuck it up. Is there going to be a flyer? Let me know what I can do to help promote. So yeah, I wanted to talk about The Lion King, how The Lion King is the highest grossing piece of art. Well, yeah, so apparently The Lion King has grossed more money than any other piece of culture, singularly. I mean, if you think about movies, right, like the highest grossing movie is what, like $2 billion or something? I guess maybe if you included other DVD or whatever, maybe it'd be more, but supposedly The Lion King on Broadway has made more money than Grand Theft Auto, which I think was the second. I don't remember exactly, but the second highest thing had like $8.6 billion. So, I think that's one reason why these Broadway musicals are almost like gambling. You know, it's almost like they just throw stuff out there just in case. They're willing to lose. You know, they're willing to invest all these money. You know, it's so expensive to mount a Broadway musical now. All right, yeah, I got to get out of here. It's just too weird down here. And I guess just because it's a live show, I guess that's part of the point. That's part of why I'm talking about it, because it's a live show. They can sell. You have to go and see it in person, and that might include the touring companies and all the other shit. But like the Lion King Broadway musical, I guess it's been going 30 years, and it's been sold out probably most of the time, and it's something to think about as a live entertainer. You know, that's your potential, right? As a good live act, that's your, maybe not the Lion King on Broadway, but I think you can always make money if you're a good live act. Even, it's in the modern age, we're seeing this bifurcation where a lot of stuff is going on the internet, and you can sort of make your name and become famous on the internet. But the live thing is still like the bread and butter and the point of contact, and in some ways the meaningful. It's I don't know. It's an interesting bionic kind of reality we have, and how we're already kind of androids. We're already kind of half machine, half live stream, half YouTube, half fucking app, half phone. And but it's exciting as an artist, to kind of be able to fill all these different mediums and explore and find different approaches, that might work for the different formats. And repurposing them all for each, The poetry can go into the live stream, can go into the content, can go into the music, can go into the soundtrack, can go into the et cetera, and onward and onward and onward. It's all creativity. It's all one thing. It's just kind of you find the different websites to post them on. All right, thank you guys for watching. Get some rest, and we'll talk to you soon. I'm probably going to go on tomorrow, maybe. I'm going to walk through Central Park, I think.